welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation. We're going to be bringing you guys a game from the We Play tournament. It's going to be Na'Vi versus Artyk, best of 3 series for this loser bracket finals for the group stage A. It's going to be part of the secondary phase, and I myself am Blaze, and we have LD here casting it up with me on BTS2. How's it going, man?
Hey Blaze, doing fantastic, man. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to this game. I don't know if everybody got to catch the end of Na'Vi versus Mouse, but Na'Vi got PL'd, and they got PL'd very hard. It's the new and improved version of getting anti-made, so actually I would say if you didn't know Artic, you'd probably look at this match and say, oh, Na'Vi 2-0, very simple and clean. That's not true. They actually dropped a game to Artic in Game 2 on the back of a convincing Templar Assassin performance from Smash, who went like 21, 3, and 14 and really did smash them. And to make matters worse for Na'Vi, well, not to make matters worse, but just to sort of add to this argument I have that I think Artic has what it takes to beat Na'Vi. In Game 1, they almost beat them as well. So don't rule it out of the question that Artic could take a game or even the series. But if you're Na'Vi, this is where, you know, maybe you were messing around earlier. You ain't messing around now, because if you lose this match, you actually go home. You don't even move on to the playoffs, which would be a huge upset if that's the case.
Yeah, second, third decider is pretty difficult. But yeah, Artyk kind of surprising in how they've been able to perform recently. The last match that I casted for them up against 4FC, they were able to take it 2-0 as in that situation and really played it well. They actually did run the Keep the Light Phantom Lance themselves, so it might be something that Na'Vi has a little bit of a post-traumatic stress disorder flashbacks for. But yeah, we're going to see most likely actually this is the lineup that they had before. They had Lifestealer and Keeper the Light already, and I thought they wouldn't go the PL, but watch out for a 4th pick Phantom Lancer, because this is what exactly what they ran last game, and it seems weird. But if they go a safe lane solo on the Phantom Lancer and it doesn't get shut down, they have 2 very powerful late game carriers to work with.
Yeah, and the nice thing with that is you can really spread the map. And on the side of Na'Vi, they do have the option to just go ahead and ban it out. So they'll have 3 bans here. Whenever you see Keeper of the Light, you got to be thinking maybe you ban it. This is the exact same opening I saw Artic use versus Na'Vi, though, earlier. The Lifesteal Keeper of the Light ban, it's actually a very dangerous tri-lane. It doesn't look like it on paper, but because you have Keeper of the Light, you actually have enough damage to kill a lot of squishier supports at even level 1 or 2. Let alone, once Bane gets level 2 or 3, even level 2 Brain Sap, watch out. So this is a pretty scary tri-lane, and the nice thing for Artic is they can actually roam their supports if they want, especially the Bane, because Lifestealer is just generally not going to die.
Sure enough. And this Shadow Demon is kind of the knee-jerk support to pick up there. It's pretty much a no-brainer in that situation. If you need to round out your lanes a little bit, you need to pick up the supportive hero. Shadow Demon is going to be great because it can disrupt on the Bane to interrupt the Fiend's Grip, and most importantly, can go for that Demonic Purge on the Lifestealer, limiting his right-click potential as he's just kind of shambling along as a George Romero zombie kind of does. But interesting lineup here. A lot of potential to kite and peel off of that Lifestealer with the Entangling Roots, with the Demonic Purge, with the Reverse Polarity coming out of Magnus. I mean, so many great mechanics, but it depends on really how they're going to play it out, their positioning, and how these lanes will work. Do you think we're going to see a Suicide off-lane Lone Druid?
We'll have to see. The last time that Na'Vi ran it, they actually gave Funnick, I think it was Funnick who played the Lone Druid, and he got, like, safe lane farm. So we'll see what they do this time around, but it's really up in the air. Magnus probably going mid for Dendi. That's what I would expect, although Funnick also played the offlane Magnus in his last game versus Mouse. So for Na'Vi, they've shown enough versatility, and of course, you look at this team, they have the skill to pretty much anyone can play any role. Kuroki used to be well known for his carry play, not even for his support play, but nowadays he's adapted, and so we'll see what they do. Options are pretty much wide open. What I'm interested to see is if it's not a Dendi Magnus, is he going to play... Well, he won't play as Queen of Pain. I was going to bring that up, but it's actually banned. As far as this game goes, I won't even be surprised if we see something like a Templar Assassin ban. If we do see that from Na'Vi, then that really tells us that they want to send the Mag mid, since TA crushes Mag mid, and it's also something that they got crushed, or smashed by, I should say, earlier today, but none other than Smash. You see what I did there?
Yeah, exactly saw what you did there. I actually saw it, I had it muted on the stream while we were in between our games, but holy crap, that TA was so darn big. That was something, I was surprised it didn't go like a Desolate or something like that, but doing work either way. Like Scythe of Vice, Daedalus, it's something that you really don't see on that kind of gank-oriented hero, usually because if they have that much farm, the game's already over, but Na'Vi is definitely not one to call it early, and they were able to fight it out for a long time, but holy crap, yeah, that's something that they do have to worry about, and if they do want to send the Magnus mid, it would be a rash oversight to actually not take that off the board right here. But taking out the Clockwork for the moment, it kind of implies that they're expecting Artyk to go for that defensive tri-lane, which, as you said, might not be the case. It might be aggressive enough potential with the fact that they synergize so darn well. The Nightmare buying time for that Illuminate, and then following it up life so they can pretty much just tank it up on the front line, feasting away and open woundsing, getting plenty of life to restore him, and then just making sure that he's immune to the magic on the front line. So I really think that it'll be a powerful, aggressive tri-lane if they want to go for it. It just depends whether or not Navi's carry pickup is going to be vulnerable.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe the Clockwork ban has something to do with this Tinker, because that's something Artic ran to great success earlier, but as we can see, Artic has gone ahead and banned out the Tinker. So Navi, if they were angling for Tinker, won't get their hands on it anyway. Funnick actually played that quite well in the earlier series. All things considered, I think the Clockwork ban, more than anything, this is just a hero that makes life hell. Not only for a hero like Tinker, but also for Magnus, where he wants to jump in an RP, guess what? Cogs are there, bouncing you around no matter what, even if you have a BKB. And with the carry such as Lone Druid, who's melee, it can be annoying. So, let's see what Artic goes for here. I'm really interested to see what is Smash going to play. His TA is in the pool. Let's see what he does. For me, it's all about that right now. It's all about Smash, because when they won that first game, or that second game, it was really not just like somewhat because of it, it was almost entirely because of Smash. Especially through like the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, interesting selection of the Gyrocopter here, though. I'm not sure if they're worried about something that's going to be shifted up here. I don't feel that this is really going to be a mid Gyrocopter. I think they want to farm it up in either a safe lane solo position or in the aggressive tri-lane up top. But it's just kind of weird in this kind of position here. So a Gyrocopter definitely can mid. He's very, very effective with flat cannon harassment, and the fact that the homing missile won't be beaten down is a definite plus to his potential there. It's just something that's kind of fallen out of favor, Dota being a very, very trend-oriented type thing when it comes down to the professional scene. Gyrocopter, he used to mid a lot, and now hasn't been seeing that too much here, but Na'Vi, really, really big selection with this Lina. The combination of Lina and Shadow Demon is something that can completely destroy a lot of very, very weak lineups. So trying to pick them apart here, I don't think it would be wise to send the Bounty Hunter up on the top lane, because a single Sentry Ward, he can be completely screwed over, and instead of being the one providing gold for his team through the track, he's going to be the one feeding it away. So
he could be the one providing gold, but it might be for the enemy team. It's a tough matchup. It's a very tough matchup. Na'Vi are going Alchemist here. Oh man, the Mouse Alchemist was used against them last game, and I wonder if they liked what they saw out of that. Maybe they didn't like how it tasted going down, but this time around they're going to be force feeding a heavy dose of Havost Alchemist this game, and shores up their late game, works well in their tri-lane. This is a... Don't be fooled by the fact that Alchemist is one of the strongest farmers in the game with Grievous Screed. Forget about that. It's all about Disruption, Light Strike Array, Poison on top of it all, the Poison Spray, and then the Unstable Concoction. The burst damage is filthy. So Artic, at the same time, if Na'Vi go aggressive, they do have Keeper of the Light and Lifestealer, both of whom are pretty good at dealing with tri-lanes in general. So we will see, but I'm leaning towards Na'Vi wanting to go aggressive here.
Yeah, I take back what I said about the mid. In this situation, picking up the Bounty Hunter, it has to be Gyro on the mid. There's pretty much no two ways about it there. The Gyrocopter is the one with the most lane presence that can contest Dendy's Magnus most directly, and we'll see exactly how it plays itself out. The big question is if it's going to be a try versus try setup or a 1 versus 3, and maybe there would be a little bit of musical lanes back and forth trying to get the advantage, but right now it looks like Iwo is heading up top, and Misoku and Mystico sure to follow.
Yeah, and on the side of Na'Vi, we are going to have the team that everyone probably would have looked at the names and said, hey, these guys are going to take the group, especially because Mouse hasn't been in great form, but Mouse surprised them and have proven to be a team that really gives Na'Vi fits. And on the side of Na'Vi, we'll have Dendy handling that Magnus, Puppy playing the support Lina, Sentry's picked up on him, Havost, Quelling Blade for him. They are going defensive tri-lane, has been pulled a set of Tangos, Funnick on the Lone Druid, and then Kuroki on the Shadow Demon. So Na'Vi anticipating an aggressive tri-lane and wanting to contest it, or contest their jungle so there won't be any wards. Let's see how this all shakes out.
Looks like it's going to be a 5v5 engage very close. The Open Wounds is not in range of anybody just yet. They're kind of seeing exactly what's going on and just disengaging 100%. They don't want to go in because they don't know what Lifestealer is skilled yet. If he goes on in and he has that rage available, he can be perfectly fine on the front line here, but right now just doing a lot of damage to the bear, body blocking with the Bounty Hunter, but the high ground Light Striker comes down to the smash. Big damage coming out of him right now. The concoction lands. Dendy will be able to skewer him right back on in. What the heck is that pause?
Really?
Pause?
Lol, indeed. Lol, indeed. Oh, he's dead anyway. Yeah. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, apparently Smash, his mouse froze up. He wasn't able to maneuver as he intended to. Maybe, you know, can't click buttons on the rocket barrage. Whatever it was, Smash is 100% in a dead position. There's absolutely nothing to be done about this. But let's see if there's any follow-up. Right now, they've committed a lot of cooldowns. Honestly, is there anybody, do you think, that's in real danger on Navi's side right here?
Let's see. Checking. Puppy can go for a 2-hero Light Striker, right? I think Artic are the ones in a huge amount of trouble. If he hits 2 here, and then you have Funnick just maybe auto-attack a few heroes with the bear, Kuroki, Disruption being cast right now, I think they could even potentially get more. The Skewer will complete. Here's the rest of the class. The Light Striker, right? Will only catch Masuko in there. The first blood going to Navi, pretty much as expected, and I think that'll be it.
Yeah, that's pretty much them going to be disengaging there. In before shoutouts of the Twitch chat for the puppy pause, but no, it was actually on Artic, and they're going to have a disconnect and should re-engage on this pause now that the fight has kind of settled, the dust settles, and we do see the first blood actually going for the Lone Druid, I believe. He was able to, no, Shadow Demon actually picked up the kill on that, so plenty of gold to start off there, either for some good boots of speed to maneuver about, maybe get some good stacks and pulls off, or could just go for the Flying Courier. Really, really great for a Magnus who needs his bottle early and wants to ferry it back and forth frequently. So either way, a couple different options with that gold, but a great start for Navi.
So if you're Artic now, you just gave up first blood, you want to go aggressive tri-lane, but you don't have any wards on the map, and I'm actually going to check their regen to see how much they've chewed through. Not too much yet, it looks like. So the main tax here is going to be, well, they've placed 1 Observer Ward at the rune. The good news is, I suppose, that some of Navi's heroes will be late getting to their lanes, but so too will Artic's. Mihawk might get to bottom a bit earlier. It's going to be tough for Artic now. Giving up that first blood, not warding off the pull. If they try to go in for the pull, it's good. They're probably going to get interrupted, picked off by Havost and Puppy, or at least driven back. So what Artic really needs to do now is push the tower with Illuminate and then go place the wards. But during that time, Navi can stack and pull. So not a good start to your try to give up that first blood. In some ways, I would almost say it would be a good thing if a hero like Lone Druid got it, because at least he's not in the tri lane, but it goes to Kuroki, which is early boots for him and early trouble for Artic.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be very, very difficult to contest directly. Right now, the Keeper Light used off one of his Illuminates. He did bring a couple of Clarities in there, but one thing to mention is Mystico only has 1 of his own. Bane is an extremely mana-reliant hero, and until Chakra Magic hits rank 2, I really think that they're not going to be able to win out in extended engagements and things along those lines. The Illuminate costs 150. That's pretty much all that Misoku has available right now, and then along with that Mystico, he has the Nightmare. He can cast 1 more of those or 1 more Brain Sap. Either way, though, he's in a position where you can't just keep spamming away, whereas with Puppy, with Kurokai, they have heroes that have much cheaper spells, or at least more base intellect to work with, and I think that they'll be able to control it more continuously, if not more directly in the 3v3 clashes.
Well, they're not even tri-laning for the moment. They've rotated Mystico mid, and after giving up the first blood on Spec,
there's going to be on top lane the Light Striker to fall after that Disruption, and that's going to be an easy kill for, again, the Shadow Demon. Kurokai carrying it up here with 2-0 with that big follow-up. 3 stuns right off the bat, and in the mid, like you said, 2 against 1 on Dendi.
Well, he really has no business being anywhere past that area. If you don't have a tri-lane there, and you don't have vision, you don't go there. Especially not as Keeper of the Light. That's an easy way to get killed off, and Artic, I think, maybe a little bit rattled by the way the laning stage started. Mystico, in one of their games versus Navi, the big thing he did was had really effective movement. But so far this game, not seeing that effective movement. Came mid, annoyed Dendi for a wave. Now he comes back top, but end of the day, hasn't really accomplished a whole lot. And they'll try and slow down Havost, but with the pulls coming, unless Keeper Light can still these stacks, it's going to be Navi winning the tri-lane convincingly. They'll have to find a way to get an Illuminate and hit those creeps, but again, they need vision to do it safely, and good luck getting that vision with the amount of stuns that Navi has.
Yeah. Interesting movement down on bottom lane. Mihawk actually picks up an Orb of Venom of his own, kind of to counteract that of the Spirit Bear. So when he got the Janata Strike, he actually got like 3 or 4 extra hits in, but Funnick had Sentry Wards, dropped it down on the lane, and Mihawk is going to take a lot of damage. The Entangles don't exist until the Lone Druid hits level 5, but for right now, Mihawk has chewed through a lot of the early tangos provided by his supports, and it's going to be harder and harder to go in that 1 versus 1 matchup.
It's a pretty good build, and pretty common when you play a melee hero like Bounty Hunter who can trade decently, is to get the early Orb of Venom, just so the bear takes some harassment. Maybe Funnick has to send it back or resummon it. They try to contest that pull. Didn't actually catch who stole what, but almost level 2 in our Keeper of the Light. Looking at experience, seems like Navi are getting most of it. Might have stolen one of the big creeps with an Illuminate there, but I mean, all things considered, Artic are really going to have a hard time. Again, they can't, like, you just can't get to the camp to ward it off.
And this experience differential is really, really big deal as well. The fact that they're only just now hitting level 2, where Na'Vi has been participating in so many kills. Yeah, they're not getting the neutral pull experience, but Havos is already level 3. Kurokai hasn't even gone for a point in Soul Catcher. He's just fine with going for the disruption and the poison and dishing out a lot of damage that way. So in this position here, until there's actually like level 2, level 3 coming out for the supports of Artyk, I feel they don't have nearly as much ground to stand on in this position here.
The good news for them is Havost is not... Well, now he'll go for it. He'll take a point at Acid Spray, but generally I feel like you're better off just maxing the Acid Spray and the stun here first. You have so much killing power, and if you get a couple of kills on these supports, they won't even be able to, like, sniff the lane at that point. So instead, he's going a little bit greedy with the farm, but for me, get early points in the Acid Spray, kill them, and then just farm freely. Instead, he's kind of going it the other way. Just farm freely, and then maybe later on I'll kill him. Seems to be working out all right so far. I want to mention the warding game real quickly. This observer that you can see here placed, I hope you can see what I'm circling in the jungle. Artic actually placed their second observer ward here. The other one was placed at the ruin. It was dewarded by Na'Vi, so they don't even have a ward to block the camp with now. I kept on mentioning dewarding it or ward blocking it. They'll body block it now potentially, but no wards available, and it's not like they're farming a whole lot. So if they buy wards, that means no boots, which means even easier kills for Na'Vi in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, easy picks is what's going to be happening more and more. Havos taking a ton of damage to that Brain Sap and Illuminate, but it's just not going to be enough to finish the job. Salve comes out. They're going to charge the Concoction. They're going in on this. They get the Light Strike Array. Here comes that Concoction. Dropping it down with the Acid Spray. One more right click. They get it. And Havos will take that to the bank, but dropping down from the Illuminate from the right clicks from IWO. Will be able to get a kill on the board for his team, as Artic has been desperately needing one for quite some time. Still, though, no salve means that he is going to be without HP for some time. The Soku does have one available, but running out of regen very, very quickly.
Yeah, looking at the gold graph, looking at about 1,000 gold lead right now for Na'Vi, 1,000 experience. I want to take a quick look at the two soul lanes before the next bloodbath occurs top. And bottom lane, Mihawk, level 5 already, but when you look at CS, he's actually doing really well. He was pulled. He started with 6 tangos, 3 from a teammate, 3 of his own. It's about as well as you could really expect for a bounty hunter in this situation. But I think I think he might have been pulled 2 sets of tangos since he's a poor man's shield, and I'm not sure if he started with that. But point is, he's doing about as well as you could expect. He'll hit level 6 soon, and I feel like with the Acid Spray not being leveled up that much, they might be able to find track kills either here, even mid lane. And looking at the mid lane, it's Smash doing very well there. So don't count Artic out of this despite their slow start. They have track gold, and they have 2 solos that are doing reasonably well.
Absolutely. Smash was able to acquire a double damage rune, sent a couple of flat cannon hits in the direction of Dendi, but that's, I mean, you got to double that with the double damage. You're sending out 4 or 5 shots.
Is that what you do?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Well, if flat cannon was, more balanced out and it did like 80% scaling, that might not be the case. But with this right here, all that plus damage goes straight to that AoE. And
this is what we play Blaze the big bucks here for, guys. It's the knowledge bombs, like double damage, give you double damage. Just kidding, man. All in good fun. But Mihawk, early teleport scroll, very important to keep an eye on him. And I like this because if they find a couple of track kills, this game will completely turn.
Yeah, interesting to pick it up before Boots of Speed. TP Scroll, Poor Man's Shield, Orb of Venom, Bottle. He's all about sustaining on the lane while he needs to be, and as soon as he finds an opportunity to just go and Shadow Walk on another lane, get a track kill on the board, he's absolutely willing to do so. So I think it's really, really good build. It does slow him down as far as his standard roaming. He might not be able to get in Janata range as easily, for example, but he's just willing to commit in an environment where Na'Vi doesn't see them coming.
At the same time, even though he's a TP scroll, keep in mind if he goes to gank top, Dendi could come as well. Dendi doesn't have a TP yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to ferry one with this bottle, and you really don't want to go aggressive. Like, you don't want the BH to just go up there and try to gank now. What you want to do is ideally, I think, let Na'Vi overextend a bit, then show up and clean up a few track kills. If you go aggressive towards their tower, that's where Dendi comes in, and all of a sudden, RP in your face, everybody dying, so... we'll see, but for the moment, just sitting bottom. The issue is he wants to get active, because as Lone Druid levels, you mentioned Entangle, no fun for BH. Not
at all. Actually coming out right now, it's going to get one extra right click on top of him. The Illusion Rune does come on through. He's dueling it back and forth, actually trying to kill this bear, but it still survives with 40 HP. Run! Through that Illusion. He's going for one more hit. The Illusion should be able to bring it. No, it still survives with 5 HP. Stout shield, too strong, resummoning it up, and yeah, plenty to work with up there. There is this flank up, Kurokai looking for a disruption. They did not pop off the concoction yet, though, and looks like they're all just going to fall back from there. We see now TPing on up, Misoku trying to get back up in the action, but my goodness, this top lane feels like it should be doing better.
It probably would have been if they hadn't given up that first blood. As mentioned, the Observer Ward they placed, they were forced to place one over here in the jungle instead of actually blocking the camp because they gave up a first blood. They were really worried about getting initiated on. So had they not given up a first blood, had they not lost that initial engagement, I think we would have seen different ward placements and a more effective result for them. Smash continues to battle Crow mid, but they get a lot of harassment. And, oh, stun top. Looks like they might look to go here. No, not in the end. Nobody really connected on their stuns today, so no action just yet.
Yep. So they do actually pop off the disruption underneath the acid spray. The soul catcher does not land, but the light strike array certainly does. The right clicks from that fast ogre attack speed, using his base attack time. This concoction will do it. Now going on the next target of choice, Misoku. He's so darn quick he might be able to, but really just not really certain about who they want to stay on top of. They do have Dendi flanking on in. This is their opportunity to go on him individually, taking a lot of hits from the neutrals. There is going to be Mihawk coming on in, raring to go.
He has no RP. He already blew
up on
it.
They want to go in here without any RP, though. There's not really anything to peel. They're going to go on in, raging out so he can't be stunned, but nice defensive destruction from Kurokai. Turning it around so that Havos will survive. Calldown comes out, but he walks away. Walks actually right back on into it. That might be bad, but baiting Smash out with a beautiful concoction. Havos walking, just threading the needle. Oh my gosh, underneath death. I mean, this is so painful for him. They do get the track off under the tower. Illuminate hits on nothing, but Mihawk could actually aggressively dive here. He has full vision in the trees. Has to be extremely careful, but right now, Puppy about to get mana for a stun. He's going to go for this light strike array to save Kurokai, but first the disruption. Miscoordination from the two teammates, and now Mihawk's in an awkward position. Gets the stun, but no tower right clicks.
He's just blinded by greed. I mean, not even blinded. That was like 5 track kills they wanted. They'll get the Shadow Demon at least. I don't even think it was tracked anymore. They've been so long. Mihawk, God, does he ever need a magic stick? Didn't have one in this fight. They're still chasing. I think they'll find Havost here, rage up, and yeah, Havost gonna drop.
He does pop off that ulti, trying to restore as much as he can.
Oh, maybe not.
Moving. It's just out of range. They can't, without boots, without brown boots, you can't get the Janata, and he will walk away. Popping off the concoction to throw it on out. He gets the stun, and Mystico gets the kill, and he's still going. He's still reaching.
How does he live?
And they turn it around. Dendi dropping the shockwave. This is ridiculous here as they turn it around in full. Oh, so many opportunities for Artic, but just, oh, it's not enough. 8-2.
And they had an easy kill on the Lina there as well. They wanted Havost, underestimate the chemical rage. It'll pay. And in the end, so let's be fair, they overstayed their welcome there as well. They were diving the tower, kiting around the tower for a really long time, and the worst part is Funnick wasn't there. Funnick was farming bottom lane. He's got an armlet pretty much ready to roll now, and picks up the tier 1 as well. If a Navi had RP, that's the other thing. If Dendi hadn't used it mid and he shows up top with an RP, that's not even a fight. Because Artic just get 2-3 man killed and they back, or they all die. Either way, they're not diving the tower. So consider Artic lucky, all things considered, that it didn't go worse.
Yeah, it could have been even worse for them, but I mean, it's still terrible. I mean, you look at the gold, that tier 1 tower, all those kills advantage, it adds up quickly. And although they did finally get 1 track kill, the kill on Shadow Demon, he still had a few seconds left on that track. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. They need to swing momentum forward. They need to take even trades, and right now, just by little, they're getting actually massacred very gradually. It's not even like a quick kill. It's not clean at all. They're just kind of going on in and winning through this gradual war of attrition. Really good movement, really good TPs, and yeah, like you said, that was 5 people committed, and the Lone Druid didn't even have to respond.
At the end of the day, what do you do now?
Mid. Smash did pop off that invisibility, though, and AoE damage coming on out. It's actually going to turn around. Call down, Flat Cannon burst. Laguna Blade comes out, and Dendi's still surviving. The homing missile, the call down's enough. Focusing down on Puppy. Mystico will do something with his magic stick, but no mana for the Fiend's Grip. He's just going to have to fall back. So, in the end, a 1-for-1, but they did get the RP on cooldown.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but that's your Gyro. It's one of your few heroes farming well, and this might be a track kill.
Gets the track on Kurokai in a moment, and he will be able to burst him down with this Shuriken, getting a track kill finally coming on through. Mystico dropping low, but I don't think this last Shadow Poison, no it is. Shadow Poison was rank 3, and it was enough to finish him off in the end.
And the thing is, Havos could just sit top, and they can't kill him. At least not without one more hero. They can illuminate him, they could try and dive this, but they know Dendi has a blink. And even without RP, you still have to be worried about that. So they'll back off. Maybe could have made a go, but just very, very nervous about all those heroes respawning.
Going on in, open wounds, they drop the Illuminate, but Havos still surviving quite a bit. Has that magic stick, doesn't even connect with the Illuminate. Here comes Dendi, tries to go for the skewer, misses it completely, concoction to throw, and yeah, Iwo won't be able to connect. He won't be able to finish this off, just cannot close the distance, and they have full vision on him. Shuriken does come out from Mihawk, finishing off, finally getting a kill on Havos, and it looks like Iwo will be able to dance around, finish it off, no skewer, it's still on cooldown, but will be able to shockwave after after many right clicks to bring down the lifestealer. Next target, they disruption up Masuku and should be able to finish him off before the TP finishes. Oh, it's very close, but he does get out in the end. The last right click, not fast enough, and Masuku does skirt on out of there and is able to survive.
They need more track kills. That wasn't even a track kill there. It's just
No.
a shuriken toss. Dive on the top tower. Oh, not gonna go.
Not connecting there. Dendi, not exactly on point. That skewer completely whiffing it and not finding the kill that he was looking for. And after that, hard to bring it down on a lifesteal who's raged on out.
It's a tactical skewer. It's just make them feel comfortable, make them think you're gonna miss the skewers. Then when it matters, you nail them and you kill them off. That's the Dendi way.
There we go. Blink RP onto Mystico. Solo kill. Very easily done with the Laguna Blade committed as well.
See? That's what I'm talking about. Tactical skewer from Dendi. All a part of the plan. Ultimately, they're trying to play 5v4, and they're losing 5v4. They're not winning the engagements. At best, they're breaking even here and there. It's not enough, because Funnick's just farming bottom, and the thing is, Artic don't have anyone who can lane against him solo, but they might kill him now.
Yeah, all three coming on in, but he actually armlets himself, so he has a little bit more HP to work with. Still in a bad spot. He's going to go for the TP now that the homing missile is connected. No, that shuriken has always been available, and he knows it. Trying to armlet toggle away. He gets one armlet toggle, gets the second one. He's going to keep on running, but there's just too far to go. He will die at the end. Gives it a good old try, but doesn't work out. Up on top lane.
No, wanted to make a go on the lifesteal. Skewer did not connect. And they end up back off. But that's what they needed. Just get the bounty hunter moving around the map, and Gyro, one of the few carries that can actually give you the damage to bring down a lone druid. That's an armlet lone druid at 14 minutes in. I don't think you realize how ridiculously hard to kill that hero is already. And then you throw an armlet on top of that. I mean, I don't even know how much armor you're looking at. Probably like 18 armor when you factor in the war cry as well, and still enough in the end. Mid.
If it were actually on mid, jumping on in, they do commit the Fiend's Grip. They will be able to bring him down quickly. Just a little bit flat cannon, farming up the creep wave while farming up the Alchemist. It's going to be the last hit going to keep her light. But now coming on in, Dendi gets a skewer onto 2, committing hardcore here. The call down does drop down, doesn't connect, but enough right-click damage with that Infest Burst will be enough to bring down Dendi here. They're going to look to push down on this mid tier 1 tower. Smash with that double damage should be able to bring it down very swiftly.
It's Bounty Hunter Dota. You lose your lanes, no problem. Find a few track kills, you're right back in it, and look at the graphs. The gold graph really tipping their way. They got the tower. And the thing is for Na'Vi, well, they're not really farming that much, aside from this lone druid for Funnick. He's gone armlet. You get this to push towers early, to pressure a lot, to be active in the fights. But he's split pushing. It's an item that there are better choices for split push, and we'll see what he does with it for here. But it feels like Na'Vi maybe not 100% clear on their game plan. They got the tier 1 bottom, Funnick now right back to the lane, and could be right back into some trouble if we see Smash come in. Speaking of Smash, BKB is coming fairly soon. We'll see how much it does this game. There is not really that much. There's plenty of physical damage, so although it'll block some stuns, I don't feel like it's a total solution. It was going to get a tier 1 top, and Na'Vi wants to Rosh.
No, I thought he was just going for some shopping for the secret shop, but no, they're going for it in all in all. They do bring, with the Acid Spray, its armor down to -1, so amplifying their physical damage substantially here, and pop a Chemical Rage. They're going to be able to burst very hardcore. They have the team fight to follow it up in case they are contested here. Dendi is just roaming around with that Blink Dagger, just wishing they would come and try something here, but it's dropping quickly, dropping down 2,500 HP, and it should fall without any issue whatsoever.
And with this, I think you just start pushing. Take the tier 1, take the tier 1 mid, take the tier 1 top. Arctic's strength is, they have some good counter push, but you have an Armlet Bear, you have an Alchemist who, we'll see if he actually completes his Vanguard. I think at this point you just hold on to the Vitality Booster. And they can't counter push every lane, they can't kill the Bear just with Illuminate. So, if I'm Na'Vi, I look to abuse the fact that I have this Aegis, take some early towers, take advantage of that Armlet. You have your Blink Mag, you have pretty much everything you need to 5-man effectively. And the best part is, sure, you're going into Keeper of the Light and Gyro Cup, you're going into a lot of AoE, but it really negates the effectiveness of Bounty Hunter. When you're in that 5v5, you won't do much. And Na'Vi seem to have that sort of thing in mind. Vanguard picked up, you don't get this to go farm, you get this to go push.
Yeah, most definitely want to put that pressure early on. They are going up against what could be considered a tri-core lineup, and with track gold flowing on around, every time that you make an even trade, you're actually losing out. So the Na'Vi really wants to make sure that they don't have to commit themselves to unfortunate fights. They want to push every time RP is up, and they're going to start out now with that Vanguard, with that Armlet, and go down on this tier 2 tower here. So we'll see how it works out. Vos is actually going to tank it up for the moment. He does have that Aegis, does have that Vanguard, plenty to work with here, and it just is completely shredded. Demolition Crew with this bear dealing 140% damage to towers. It's ridiculous. Now we do see on the mid a lot of damage coming in there. They have the fortification. They are going to TP in that Alchemist. Gets blinding lighted up, but yeah, for the moment, they're just going to disengage with that Nightmare. It looks like they don't get such luck, though, with Mystigo getting pushed back on in, and he will be the casualty of war here.
You dare doubt Dendy? Here comes the kills. That was a beautiful Blink Skewer by him, top lane as well. He will go in on Puppey, finds another solo kill, so... And a TP even canceled on top of that. I think if you're Na'Vi, you're okay with that trade. Or Artic, you're okay with that trade. Mihawk gets entangled.
I mean, it was support for support, but Lifestealer needs to get something really, really
bottom
big.
Lane,
now,
Funnick.
on Funnick here, the Janata comes on through, Orb of Venom slow, and Tranquil Boots are broken, so even more slow on top of that. They don't even need to commit this next open wound, just right-click away. They do indeed, but Shuriken comes on out, and Lifestealer gets the last hit. Track kill, of course, so they're all set to start moving in the right direction, jumping up to 1,700 gold with a Gem of True Sight on him. Ewo gonna be able to do a lot much more.
Unbelievably, Na'Vi really having trouble again with Artic, and I say unbelievably because it's freaking Na'Vi. This is your second place team at the International 2. They've undergone some roster changes, but at the end of the day, the core players remain the same, and you expect this team to comfortably cruise their way through the group stages, advance into the playoffs. Not the case here. Artic is giving them a run for their money so far. Gold-wise, experience-wise, it's about a 2.5k lead for Na'Vi, which is pretty insignificant. Mid lane might have an engagement, looking for a post.
Will connect eventually, but he's just actually going to tank it up. This is so how big this guy is. He has right now 2k HP to work with. Going to go on in, but actually concoctioning himself in this situation here. Just a little bit overzealous. The Shadow Demon Kurokai wasn't able to participate as rapidly as he intended, so all in all, they knew that they didn't want to go in without enough vision. But they do get Fiend's Grip on Dendy here. He has that reverse polarity. He's a very important hero in this next fight, but starting off, the Bane will drop immediately, and it looks like the Homing Missile will fall as well. So they're going to be able to go on and pursue on this mid lane here. Mihawk getting stunned up, bursting him down hardcore. Needs the Shockwave. Connects. Actually, he just dies to the Acid Spray itself. Tier 1 going to be the next target of choice. It looks like the Lone Druid Funnick has finally joined in the fray, so they're going to be able to push this down with no trouble at all.
Yeah, the repeated deaths of Funnick really slowing him down. By this point, you normally have a Maelstrom.
They go in on top of Ewo, and they get the Entangle Prop. First hit going on through, and they're going to be able to burst him down hardcore, call down Flacken, and coming on through from Smash. He has another double damage rune, but he gets RP'd. Beautiful RP from Dendy, blocking him down and taking him down as well. That's 3 heroes in the grave. The tower soon to be with them.
Does this guy work at double damage incorporated? I mean, every time you turn around, he's picking up a TD rune, he's picking up all the big items, just strutting around. Fortunately for Dendy, very wise there. Held on to the RP, thought he might even use it on the Bounty Hunter. And he's going BKB this game as well, so once he gets that, he won't die to the magic damage. They'll have to feed script him and hit him with Lifestealer. And even then, there's plenty of ways to disrupt it. So I love this choice from Dendy. I think it's going to make Navi's go and end the game relatively early. Their potential for doing that a lot stronger. Maelstrom should be coming fairly soon on Funnick, but you can't count Artic out. At the end of the day, it's track gold. You can never count them out. The big issue for me is Gyrocopter's not getting the farm that you need. He's the one hero that has to get fat. If they want to win this late, eventually, Lifestealer can sort of survive through the fights, but he's going to get kited between RP, Skewer, Purge, Entangles. He can't do it alone. He needs a fat Gyro to assist him, and right now this Gyro is just not getting the farm. Smash not having the smashing success he did earlier today.
Smoke coming down on bottom. They have a Sentry Ward available. Smoke will expire. Puppey coming in for the Light Strike Array, but immediately Mihawk goes down to the southwest. Has that TP scroll, but actually Dendy might almost found him out, but they didn't have detection, so little do they know. Actually, he does come out. He is visible right here. He does get hit by the Shockwave, but they don't go pursuing further. They already dropped down 2 Sentry Wards. Not sure how much further they want to go in. Now I believe they saw him, yeah, pinging him out. They tried to bring him down. The final Sentry, the Light Strike Ray hits, and this might be his death. Laguna Blade to finish the job here. Really good gank affected by them. And on top, meanwhile, only 3 people. Doesn't matter. They still take the tier 1.
They still have Aegis. Vlad's up on Havost. All about these mid-game timing items. Na'Vi looking at the tier 2. Artic are going to have a hard time defending. Sure, they have a lot of AoE. They don't have a teamfight initiator. They don't have anyone who jumps in first. Lifestealer, you might say, is that hero. Not the case when there's an RP on the other side. Here we go.
Yeah, Enfeeble put on the Alchemist, and now we see the Demonic Purge coming out onto Mystico. Both will come on out of it swinging. He does actually get Fiend's Grip up, and he has the Concoction charging. Has to spam it out to actually get it out, but either way, the damage will be done. Mystico gets bursted pretty hard, but the Aegis is on the ground, and there's no follow-up. There's no support's going to be able to pull him out of this one here, and both should take a fall since he does not have his ultimate.
Dendy.
Dendy coming on in, looks for the RP, gets it on 2, gets it on Iwo, gets it on Smash, skewering them to the north. There is no bear to deal the damage though, just a lone druid. Now he's all by himself, and it feels like it's 1-by-1 Na'Vi right here, and they're going to get slowed to a crawl. Funnick will be dropping in another track kill online. Smash even surviving out of all that.
There must be some miscommunication, because Havost said, I have Aegis, I'll tank all of this and then we'll come kill them all. Hell yeah. The rest of Na'Vi apparently was not on the same page or were not in range to do it. Puppy was pushing out bottom, he's farming bottom, didn't have mana, there's no tower to teleport to. At the end of the day, if I had to say, well, this player probably overextended, have to say I think Havost was assuming more than his team could deliver. Even if Dendy had showed up a few seconds earlier and gotten the RP, they need the Lone Druid and probably the Lina there. The Lina is a huge source of damage at this point. Lone Druid, not actually hitting that hard, and another death for him. So basically what happened was, Havost tried to stay, and at the end of the day, 3 core heroes for Na'Vi all die because they were trying to help out Havost, and I would call that a disaster for them, and look at the graphs. It's a spike back upwards. Na'Vi's lead is a bit deceptive here. If you look at how many towers they have right now, they have 4. There's only 2 on the side of Artic. So Artic are not quite as far behind as you might think.
Yeah, they definitely need to tap into that resource that's not been really utilized just yet, but that is gold, just sitting, waiting for the taking. They just have to win a fight in order to accomplish that, which means they need to outposition Dendy. They need to make sure they're not caught out by a big RP. And when they do, we just happen to be fed 1-by-1 in that kind of situation, they need to capitalize on it. They need to start pushing out and start taking the tier 1 on bottom or the tier 2s elsewhere. It's just really, really important. They have a lot more team fight now that they have this mechanism, and they also use the Geometry Sight to great effect. But by losing these Ancients and not contesting these kind of engagements, it's harder and harder for them. The RP is up now, though, so obviously they really can't take a 5v5 when Dendy has that available.
Yeah, I think Artic are quite happy just to find these little engagements here and there, get some pickoffs, then back on out of there, and not commit too much.
Going on in, Concoction charging. They are, through Havost, really, really confident in his team's potential to initiate. But nevertheless, healing that right back on up, they're going to push on the tier 2 mid here.
There's a haste run on Bounty Hunter as well. Let's see if he can kind of find these backline heroes. It's going to be an interesting engagement. I think you probably...
Warrior has Sentry Wards, but never mind. I thought he could haste and do it, but actually we see the action going on. Smash, he gets tosses BKB, dropping that call on the Black Cannon, but he is skewered in a really rough spot. Dendy popping his BKB as well. Triple polarity coming out, no skewer, but it doesn't matter. The damage is done. Soku should be falling, but he does mech to survive. Blinding Light to keep him going, but there is going to be the track kill. Turnaround coming out. Iwo, there are buybacks. Everybody jumping back on into this. Concoction charging. Going to go down onto Smash, I suppose. Just runs for the hills. Runs for his life. But the Ogre form isn't up just yet. Chemical Rays. He gets blocked in by Funnick. He is trying to actually get the Entangled Rock, but instead trapped in the trees. Tracked on down, and he falls as well. Dendy.
And they lost the bear, too. They lost the bear. No resummon. Mihawk's giving chase. Look to track Hiroki here. This might be an additional kill. Shurika to start. Drums to follow. Oh man, these track kills, something Na'Vi cannot afford to be giving away.
There's a big skewer coming out. Dendy, though, Shockwave goes across, being able to burst down one, looking for more. Masoku does get stunned up by that rocket, though, and Awo will swing away and bring down the Shadow Demon.
Lifestealer is getting a lot of gold. He's pretty much got an Assault Caress now. He had a plate mail in his stash. I think it's... Oh, wait, maybe that's someone else's plate mail.
Ewo has a...
Oh, no, he said it's on his hero now. So, yeah. Okay. Assault Caress, pretty much complete after that fight. This is track gold. He's not farming that well. He doesn't have a Midas. He's got 100 CS at 25 minutes, 4 CS a minute. Pretty mediocre even for a pub game, but it's because he's been active in the fights and he's getting track gold. And as a result, like I said, you can't count Artic out now. And in fact, dare I say it, I think Na'Vi have pressed the issue so many times that they kind of have to keep on pressing now. They could try to sit back and farm, but Gyro gonna start to get the items up. Now has money for a Demon Edge. He'll buy it now, I think. Yep, there you go. And in a farming war, I'm not sure they win anymore. They could have won if Alchemist had gone for the Burning build, gone the early Battle Fury. But at this point, I mean, he's all in on the mid-game. And Na'Vi, even the Lone Druid, every single hero's item selection is early to mid-game centric. Even things like an early Vlad's on the Alchemist, the Vanguard. So to back off now and try and focus late game, very, very difficult. Plus, much easier for Bounty Hunter and Lifestealer to find kills. Now that it's gotten later on, they have more burst relative to the supports. So if you're Na'Vi, it is a rock in a hard place. You had a lineup that could easily take this late with Empower, Alchemist being fat, Lone Druid having a good start, and RP. But now, not so clear they can. They're going to try Roche.
That's what they have to do, honestly. If they don't take Roche here, then they're not going to be able to batter down on the tier 2s and put damage on into the racks. Big Illuminate's coming on, actually. Puppy does not want to start this kind of fight on half HP. Luckily,
guess what?
Earn Charge is available, so don't have to worry about that. What's that?
Guess what? Guess who got another double damage rune? It's Smash,
Are you
and here
serious?
we go.
Like, this is not possible.
I'm very, very serious
I think
right
he should
now.
just, like, buy a bottle every game so that he can always have double damage available, because that seems to be what's happening.
I think he found the secret shop, and it comes with DD runes available. 100 gold each. I think that's a League of Legends thing, where you can, like, buy buffs for your hero. But anyway,
nice.
Here we go.
We do see, right now, Havos, did he get blinding lighted to that position there? He doesn't have a TP scroll either. Gonna have to flying Courier something out. I mean, I guess they could skewer the trees. There's the Light Strike ready to break him out, but wow, that was weird.
Good bailout by Puffy. That's pretty clowny. I had my eyes on Kuroki, who nicely done disruption dodged an incoming homing missile. Even with Na'Vi having this Aegis, again, I still feel that the clock is ticking for them. They'll go back for a Basher now on the Bear. The thing is, in these fights, Lifesteal is just so good against Lone Druid, because if the Bear is hitting him, unless he's getting bashed, which this is really essential, he'll just basically heal up to full. It's like a free fountain for him.
Yeah. Smoking up everybody here. They're kind of trying to treat it a little bit like a Moonlight Shadow, where they can initiate on their terms and maybe have Artyk underestimate how many people they have at their back. Because, you know, last time they dived with only one person available at a time, they might be thinking that Navi's making the same mistake here. Either way, the tower falls very quickly. Blinding Light, Illuminate, not enough counter push to prevent that from happening. And now they want to go all in. They took the Roach without using the RP. They have it up rank 3. Big stun, big damage, and Dendy's just waiting for an opportunity.
A good look pushing up the high ground. Your Bear doesn't have an MKB. It's going to be enfeebled. It's going to be blinded lighted. There's so many ways to stall here and be annoying for Artic. It is going to take Na'Vi forever to push in. And while they're doing that, Bounty Hunter pushing out bottom lane, Ewo pushing out top, Assault Crest completed as mentioned, and Na'Vi really can't go high ground.
Yeah, I feel if they had gone for high ground wards to try to go for Blink Skewers out, it would have been good, except for the Geometry Sight. Having that always available on the Keeper Light, you can't actually counter out you can't keep that vision active. I mean, you technically could probably kill the Keeper Light by skewering him out when he was trying to deward, but in general, you're going to be putting yourself into a dangerous position that you don't know everything about. So I kind of feel that, yeah, like you said, that damage is just going to keep on rolling out, and until that Bear can actually stay and just 100% right-click down on the tower on towards the buildings, they're not going to be able to take it. So it almost seems like they have to take a fight in the field, which Artyk is not willing to participate in, just farming out everywhere that Na'Vi isn't.
Yeah, why give them one? No reason to. And they'll pressure bottom a bit with Bounty Hunter, throw a track out. Na'Vi will now rotate top. They can take the tier 2, so I like this for them. Just take what you can get safely, worry about the list later, although they're going to back, so maybe not. Maybe worried about a go bottom.
It's a scary Keeper Light, man.
He's deceptively powerful, this guy. Looks frail and weak. You'd be wrong if you think that.
Respect the ponies, man. But we do see Dendy coming in, looking for that Blink Skewer. Cancels it, and then fails it right after the fact. Everybody connecting with that Illuminate. He was just waiting for it, waiting for a good spot, and then still couldn't find it. Either way, the tower should fall here. They do have some action coming in from Smash, dropping the call down. The Bear still going to get some right clicks on in with that Empower, with the Battle Pride, doing so much damage to it. But it will take until after the stun expires. And even popping out the Fortification, down on bottom is where the actions happen for the most part. They pop out the Fiend's Grip, try to burst down Havos, but it's taken a lot. Even if he's tracked up, we see that RP going down on Ewo. The tier 2 tower does fall up on the top lane. He does rage out of the Unstable Concoction, dueling it back and forth, but Ewo cannot hold into this position here. He has no TP scroll. He should have technically rage TP'd, and instead, he's going to have to run for the hills. Oh, dodging out another skewer. That movement speed from the track kept him alive for a little bit longer. Raging out another one. The Demonic Purge expires. Could he really get out of this? Like, honestly, this is possible. In this position here, he's going to get recalled, but the Yule will come out. And the timing of it, he still gets bursted. That's his death, but it was close. It was so darn close.
Yeah, actually, I'm wondering what the recall... it's 4 seconds. Okay, yeah, Yule's not enough. Oh, I was going to say that Yule's almost could have saved him there, but takes the Acid Spray. That would have been, like, one of those moments for Na'Vi, just like, man, fuck this game. If that happened, but not the case.
He just flies away. My people need me, but
all things considered, you gotta say, this is not good enough for Na'Vi. They're up by 10k, they're up by 7 gold, 7.5k experience, but it doesn't feel like a safe, comfortable lead to them. The map control isn't that great. If they start losing big fights, they're looking at losing tier 2s, maybe give it the next Roshan. They haven't managed to actually break the base yet, and it's still gonna be hard to do it because the Bear doesn't have an MKB, so... You know, Blinding Light and Feeble all going to be very annoyed, especially the Blinding Light. And Smash has his MKB. If he wants to buy it, he's got it now. Na'Vi gonna force the issue. I think they need to. I don't know if they can actually take the Rex, though, but at least gonna draw some TPs. and kind of wait and sit back, do whatever they can with the sieges.
Yeah, they have to take Artic out of their comfort zone, because right now the pressure isn't really on until this very moment when they chop off the battle cry, putting some damage on in, chemical rage up in 5 seconds, but the tower will fall quickly. They already committed that fortification earlier on, and now they're kind of paying for it, losing a lot of HP on the racks. Here comes the fight, breaking down out.
Where's
Smash
the blinded light?
Opportunity. They do actually drop this call down on everyone. There is going to be big damage from Smash Blackhand, but they RP him solo, actually with the Bane as well. A lot of damage coming out. Funnick dropping low though, will be Janata up and bursted down. Aegis on the ground. There is going to be Keeper Light finished off, and Puppey is going to be on the run, barely surviving. It looks like Mihawk will be able to track him down, finish him off. In the meantime, Ewo focusing down onto Havose, dodges out another skewer. Ewo really does not want to get locked down by Dendi, but instead gets entangled up, gets bashed up, cannot connect. And with this disruption, they might be able to get the supports out of here safely. Havose, not so much. Flat cannon, right clicks, finishing him off. One little bit left. There's the shuriken to finish it. Funnick, but they don't have the okay, they do have the nightmare. I was gonna say, if the shuriken was wasted and they didn't have anything to stop that TP, it would have been very
sad, but instead it's not. They're still chasing. Kuroki's in trouble. No force staff on him. Mihawk, one Janata crit. That'll bring the rest in range. I think he's gonna get this kill as well. Yeah. We'll have to see. Skewer. Over.
On Mystico, TPing away though, one right click away, but he gets nightmared instead, and Mystico can walk out. That's going to be 2 kills, one for the Bounty Hunter tracking down that Shadow Demon, and now Ewo finishing off Dendi, but no, he finds him, goes for the no!
Oh, Dendi!
So close, he finds him out.
Team wipe going the way of Artic. And I gotta say, that should have been better. There was no blinding light from Masuku. For the entire engagement, he had it online. They let the bear take the racks. Can't really say that Artic played it perfectly. But hey, it's Chaos Dota, and it's Bounty Hunter Dota. And what do you know? Looking at the gold graph, I imagine it's going to be like a 5k gold lead. They're going to be leading on experience, and an MK being out complete on Smash. I thought maybe, just maybe, they'll think about a Divine. But there's really no reason to, because I feel like they have enough damage as it is. Not necessarily to kill the carries quickly, but they can just... The lone Druid is fine. The Lifestealer can deal with him. They just have to drive heroes like Shadow Demon, as well as Lina, off the fight. And an MKB is enough to do that. So... Navi really struggling here, once again, versus Artic. A lesser-known Peruvian squad, but showing that they are not a team to be trifled with. Looking like they may be able to complete the comeback. Navi not out of it by any means, but, I mean, you break the base, it comes at the cost of a team wipe. They do get the racks, but this is not a one-racks game. You're up against Gyro and Keeper of the Light. You're up against 2 heroes who can easily mode on creep waves. You need at least 2, if not 3 lanes of racks, to feel remotely comfortable about your lead.
Absolutely. And in this position here, so many track kills, so many kills in general. It was a little scattered. The one thing about track is that you have to have the heroes nearby in order to benefit from it. So I think Bounty Hunter profited more than anyone in that situation because it was so chaotic. Nevertheless, they are gaining advantages. We already see that MKB up on the gyrocopter. And actually, yeah, up on top. Didn't catch that at all, but they do get the pick off on Ezelar. What the heck did he think he was doing there?
Oh, he gave away a gem. He was trying to do some dewarding and just getting some map control back, but actually pushed himself into these trees, tried to TP out. The problem was Puppey just saw him around the other side, stuns him, Laguna to the face. See ya. So, a little bit of a sloppy play there. The big thing is they lost their gem, which doesn't matter for seeing heroes, obviously. There's no invis heroes. But for map control, they just got done putting some wards up. They could quickly find themselves in the dark again, and that's not a position you want to be in.
Looks like both sides have them available. I don't know if Mystico actually shelled out for another one there, but they do have 1 gem on each side now at this current stage. So I think Mystico did just purchase 1.
Oh, no, that's Havose gem. So it looks like Artic at 2. They just gave Navi 1 back.
Sure. So trading it up, just trading it up. But, yeah, interesting enough. We do see the Bear has that Basher up as well. We did see that Ewo was able to pick his own up. We do see Fiend's Grip coming out on Funnick, but actually nothing that Puppey can do with the Rage active. With the Bash coming on out, Funnick will die here. He dies, loses his gem, and now Kurkai is under a lot of pressure. Ghost Scepter's out, avoiding a lot of flat cannon hits, but with this track movement speed boost, they should be able to go underneath. Where is that reverse polarity? Dendi TPing on in, but it's a little bit belated. And now we see turning it around. Mihawk, BKB is up, but not after the Laguna Blade lands on through. Dendi going in for that RP, but instead gets beautifully nightmared by Mystico. The Nightmare comes on through, and Dendi can't clean it up. Instead, gets focused down, pops its BKB on the run inside his own base while the flat cannon runs wild, dishing out so much damage. And oh my gosh, that Nightmare coming on through.
Yeah, he actually cast it before Dendi blinked, and he was just close enough that as Dendi arrives, he ends up sleeping him. That was a little bit more luck in terms of how quickly it happened than skill, but hey, he got off the sleep. That's all that matters. Double gems for our Bane. Mystico hasn't had the best game by any means, but now he's balling. And at the end of the day, you see the power of this Lifestealer. Eventually, he could just man-mode the lone Druid. The only way he dies, I feel, is if he gets chain bashed, and it's not going to be Alchemist who bashed him. Havose has gone full support. I feel they really needed a fat Alchemist this game if they wanted to take it late. And it's late game. Make no mistake about it. There's track gold on one team, there's Alchemist, Grievel's Greed on the other, and lots of towers down. This is basically your late game. Look at Havost having tons of items, but for Artic, soon to be two very fat carries and one reasonably farm utility hero in the Bounty Hunter. And I don't think that Na'Vi can really take fights for much longer. The clock, this next Rosh is probably going to be the deciding Rosh. They got one lane of Rex. They got to find a way to take at least one more.
This is a cheese roast. They're all smoked up, ready to make something happen here, and Havost has committed to it in this position here. He does have Pipe of Insight. There is a track out on Dendy, though. He won't be able to engage without them knowing it. So they go on in. He actually BKBs out. He blinks on in. He gets the RP onto two key heroes, skewing them right into the pit, right into the Roche, getting slammed down. Kurukai, though, being bursted by the Lifestealer. Everybody in the pit, the call down, the Black Hand doing so much damage, but it's going to be the Gyrocopter. That does get completely obliterated now. Masoku should be also to fall. He did get a nice blinding light off, but with the Force Staff on cooldown, one more right-click, Puppy will get it here. Jumping back over to the cleanup crew. Everybody has been dropped down except for that Bounty Hunter, except for that Lifesteal. They did get out, but they got nothing accomplished, and now this roast goes 100% to Na'Vi.
I didn't feel like they needed to contest that as badly as apparently they felt they did. Sure, it's going to be Aegis Cheese, but I feel like you're still okay in these fights anyway. The thought process for them must be, if we lose this Roche, then Na'Vi can just throw their bodies at our racks and take a second lane. But obviously, that wasn't the fight they had in mind. Gyrocopter getting caught there was really the key. Skewered into the pit, RP'd, couldn't dish out the damage. You really want the Lifestealer to be eating that, because he's a much tankier, much more survivable. And unfortunately, well, Lifestealer, he found some supports on the sidelines, but Na'Vi now going straight for the jugular, heading top lane.
Straight up. They don't have the back row protection. Actually, they do. They just got it negated in just that short time period when the creeps got close enough. Either way, tower falling very quickly. Those bears enfeebled, still just chomping on down and doing a lot here. Blink. They're
Where's
going
the
on
blinding
through.
light?
They actually get the catch out on Dendy, popping off that Fiend's Grip, bringing him down. He cannot contribute to this, and Havost, we might see a replay of what happened on that tier 2 on the top lane. He's all by himself. The supports are nowhere nearby. He's on the run, trying to survive, and the last right click will go on through to bring him down. Kurukai now being open wounds up, even Nightmare just quickly in place, dropping the call down, slowing everybody here, but without the Chemical Rage, the both have no chance of escape, and they will both fall. Shadow Demon first, and then the Ogre. Alchemist down. 3 down for Na'Vi, and they need to push with this. They need to get something outside the base, and because they've been penned in for far too long.
Well, they're getting more track gold. They have their Abyssal Blade on Ewo, and I actually think Artic is pretty comfortable. They didn't lose Rex there. Yes, the Rex are exposed, and in any case, it looks like they might get something out of this. Looking at Na'Vi, who's actually got buyback. Alchemist does right now. Shadow Demon does not, and then the Magnus does not, but he's respawning soon. So, Havost will buy back, and if I'm Artic, maybe try and push this a little more, at least whack on the Rex until Denny respawns. But committing high ground against RP, always going to be a risk. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, he didn't cast in the last fight. He tried to, but didn't get the opportunity. And I actually see Ewo taking so much damage. Dendy with a rank 3 ultimate obliterating his health pool. And now he is going to have to use every little bit of Feast, Lifesteal, and Armlet to keep himself alive if he wants to engage. But right now, just trying to do so on the creeps, farming that away. He is actually spotted out. The Observer Ward is there. And Ewo is in a terrible spot with them moving on in. Charging up, they want to go for the concoction from the high ground, but he's not at least going to stay. He's not going to smell the roses. He's going to get recalled out, and it looks like that means he will survive, and that's obviously exactly what they need, because even though he has buyback, losing him at this stage would crush their momentum that they've gained from their last fight.
Smash is about to get a butterfly. If he gets one more item after this, even just a Helmet of the Dominator, going to be very hard to kill him if he's not reverse polarity'd, and even then, could still be hard, depending on things like Blinding Light and Feed Script. And for Na'Vi, even though they're winning these engagements, even though I feel like they've been slightly more polished with their teamwork, it's not enough. They haven't claimed 2 lanes of Rax. You can't count out the late game of Artic. And if Na'Vi loses a big fight, that is going to be so many huge items, like the Butterfly coming up, probably a Helmet of the Dominator on top of it, the Abyssal Blade, plus maybe the makings of something else for Ewo, maybe something like a not a Null Talisman, a Talisman of Evasion. If they win that one fight, Na'Vi are just going to give away like 3 or 4 big items, and then it really may be impossible for them to fight, because it's only Funnick who hits hard physically at this point. Havost is just a walking tank. There's no double RP yet, but here comes what could be the deciding push of the game. Keep in mind, Glyph is on cooldown for the Radiant, And as far as buybacks go, Gyrocopter just bought Butterfly, so it doesn't have it.
Yeah, mentioning also that Ethereal Blade is available on Puppey. He actually bought out for that big burst of a nuke, and he's going to try to deliver it towards Lifestealer, towards Gyrocopter. Not too sure, but we'll have to see. Right now, Ewo going outside the base, bursting down, changing his target of choice, but we do see a big RP coming out. Gyrocopter immediately incinerating him. He just gets destroyed by that Ethereal and the Laguna combo coming out, the concoction onto Ewo. He will be dropped down with so much disable. He gets the infest off inside an enemy's creep. Going on through, he's going to go on top of Dendi. BK being out of the open wounds. It looks like he cannot give chase, and instead shooting the bogus Mihawk being bursted down. He is just doesn't stand a chance in this situation. Has to buy back, pop off as many tracks, and they need to turn this around, or it just might be it. They're going to lose racks here, that's for sure. And,
yeah,
they have
no
to do
buyback on the gyro. No buyback on the gyro, as mentioned. He bought his Butterfly. Puppey, or Dendi, say what you will about his Magnus play, but he delivered the big RP there, and a nice follow-up. They'll actually get 2 lanes of racks. The bear will die, and I think if you're Na'Vi, finally, you can feel a little bit more comfortable, but looks like we might not even be done yet.
Yeah, they need to, they really want to clean this up. The Yules comes out from Puppey, trying to actually get the stun to follow up, but yeah, it was pretty hard to lock down. 4-staffed north, and now they're going to go in for the kill here. Focusing on Kurgai, who gets the Ghost Scepter off. Demonic Purge on to Ewo, and so Havos will be able to just kite away on the run. Puppey on such low life from that Illuminate, just Desperation Life Strike Array, but here comes that Blink Initiation. Mystico with a Blink Dagger will be able to disable too. Going, bursting down on Havos, and looks like that will be able to pick up these kills. Tracks everywhere, everybody falling by the wayside. Double kill for Mihawk. They do actually lose the Bane in the end to some nice movement from the Shadow Demon, but nevertheless, Dendi and Kurokai on the run, and we see that still kicking and screaming. They do not want to go quietly into this good night.
Well, Artyk still have a shot. 5k gold up on your Lifestealer. Gyrocopter, unfortunately, he's the one that you would love to have that 5k gold on. Buy a Rapier, and then you probably can just win one big fight to win the game, but he doesn't have it. He went for Butterfly, he went for the MKB. He's got to think about Lifesteal and then Rapier. At this point in the game, they're down 2 lanes of racks. There's so many creeps to kill. Kuroki scouted out here by Mihawk. Might be about to drop.
Yeah, I mean, it seems feasible. It seems like he should be able to get that kill relatively easily. The one thing you have to worry about is that disruption on himself, but that's just going to delay it out, and I think that he should be able to burst it right here. Going on Janata Strike, the track does get that disruption, but yeah, he's pretty much left for dead. There's the open wounds. The Ghost Scepter will delay the inevitable. He will end up falling, and as far as buyback, he does not have it. So that is going to be a nice pick-off for the Bounty Hunter, putting more kills on the board and just keeping this roller coaster of a gold graph going up and down, all hovering around, oscillating around this 5k gold disadvantage for Artic, but they're still in a relatively good position, and Smash is getting bigger and bigger. If he can get a Dominator, he can easily contest a fight directly, but the one big issue is that his timing of BKBs haven't been perfect. I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad, but the fact that Dendi jumps on top of him, hands him over to Puppey on a silver platter, that Ethereal, that Laguna, it's just too much, and Smash has been taken out of every single fight before it starts.
I think it's more credit to Dendi than criticism of Smash, to be totally honest. But I love the fact that Puppey went for this build, just the Assassin Lina, because the thing is, you have such a huge mana pool as Lina that you can actually spam the Laguna Blade pretty easily, just with, you know, Arcane Boots, Eul Scepter. That's really all you need. And the ultimate has a 50-second cooldown, so every 50 seconds, I can't do the math off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that does, like, upwards of 1.5k damage, probably even closer to, like, 2k. And it's got a 50-second cooldown. Look out, man. Puppey, he might end up being the hero of these fights. I said they lacked a bit of damage outside of their lone druid. This is the solution to that problem. Alina with an Ethereal Blade. What a hero build.
Yeah, that is very, I mean, it's not something that you see in competitive very frequently, but in this situation, it's all about the timing, and if they can't BKB, they're highly susceptible to this just completely obliterating them, especially when you think about Soul Catcher. Rank 4 Soul Catcher, amplifying damage received by 50%. It was on the Gyrocopter last time around, and you saw how effective it was. Just really painful to watch, but nevertheless, Artic is trying to bounce back with a couple of kicks of their own. What do you think about this Vladimir's offering? It seems small, but they already have the Assault Karas Armor Ore. Is it just to make sure they get that 15% lifesteal on the Lifestealer and the Bounty Hunter themselves?
I think it's fine. He's got a data list. Now every time he's critting, he's going to be healing up a crap load, and it's something he can build now. At the end of the day, the Bounty Hunter is not going to win a man fight versus anyone. Once his BKB wears off, he's pretty much fresh meat. His job is just to spam track to make the Lifestealer more effective in the fight. So anything that makes the Lifestealer more effective is what you want. Won't help the Gyro. For me, it doesn't really matter. I think it's still a great choice.
Yeah, nevertheless. But we'll have to see. It all comes down to initiation right now. With the refresher picked up on the Magnus, Dendi is in such awesome position to just completely blow the game wide open and put the nail in the coffin, honestly. If he can get a good double RP on 2 core heroes out of the 3, suddenly the entire team fight is 100% over.
Oh, they want to go out. They want to man up now. Going for a big wraparound. I don't think they're going to have time to do this.
They'll try, but yeah, they're really pinned in. They're really just being squished under the iron of Na'Vi, and they really have to get in a good position. But Puppey, in a bad spot. He has that Yules, but again, that'll only buy him a few precious seconds. IO gets 4-step forward. The open ones connect. Puppey, oh, that crit. Dropping him down so quickly. Here comes the Alchemist. Pops off that Shiva's guard. Big damage coming out onto Mystico, trying to get rid of that Fiend's grip. Trying to finish him off in this entire fight, but Mihawk pops off that
Denny's
BKB.
coming.
There is going to be Smash, delivering a lot of damage to Kurkai as well. This fight is everywhere right now, and this is the worst for Dendy. He gets the RP anyways. 3-man RP. Catching out. He gets the skewer onto 2. Sending it back. 4-step Masoku is on the run, but here's the second RP coming on down. The refresher comes out, and this might be it. The damage isn't there, though. Mihawk's still alive. Vladimir's life stealing it up. There's another skewer. Blinking them out in together. They're all slowed up. They ride together, they die together, and there's the shockwave to finish it. Iwo trying to finish off onto both, doesn't get the chance, and they all get dropped down. Gyrocopter buys back, but he's the only one. He's the only one who can, and Masoku even might drop down here. If that's the case, there's nothing to defend these racks.
Wow, all of that to kill Puppey. When you look back on the fight like that, was it worth it? Probably not, but it looked like an easy pick, and then Dendy showed up. Got the 3 hero RPs. Even going to cancel a TP now.
He found it. He got the skewer exactly as he needed to. Masoku trying to play a little cheeky game, trying to delay it, trying to distract them. They still get the melee racks, and of course they bring down the Keeper of the Light. So.
And that's pretty much game. Really no buybacks to speak of. So Artic not going to take game 1, but I mean, still, I feel like had the laning stage gone a tiny bit better, really would have been a decent position mid-game. Giving up that early first blood really screwed them in the tri-lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very painful start, and we do see the good game finally come on out, and that's what it comes down to. I gotta say, that last fight and the play by Dendy, when I was looking at it, it was pretty much like a bunch of one-on-ones. It was like a bunch of little duels going back and forth, but everybody was involved in their own thing, but somehow Dendy was patient enough to stay back, make sure his Blink Dagger wasn't on cooldown, and the second they clustered in any way, he found that 3-man RP, followed it up over and over, big skewers, big RPs, and they all got dropped down. It was really, really all about the Magnus. The damage follow-up was good, the Shivas and whatever everybody else did to set things up, even the Puppey baiting to an extent, but in the end, it was Dendy that really, really slammed it down in that team fight.
It definitely wasn't a bait. Puppey just got caught, but Dendy was able to get there in time. He was actually mid when that all started, lumbered his way over, but the timing was just perfect. Jumps in with the RP. This first skewer wasn't good, but he walked back in, got the second RP, and that was enough in the end. Great performance from Na'Vi. I mean, not their best performance by any means, but just showing that you don't have to play your A game necessarily. If you're a top team, these are kind of the difficult games, you know, where you're not firing on all cylinders. You're making mistakes. You're playing sloppy. To be able to pull one out anyway, that tells you that you're a team that will find a way to win, even if you make life really difficult for yourself and unnecessarily difficult for yourself earlier on. So great play by them, but it is a best of 3, so game 2 coming up.
Indeed, indeed. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll have game 2 coming up in just a minute.